Hey there, and welcome to Solid Reviews. I'm Solid Zaku, and today I'll be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks Saga. This covers episodes 47 through 76, and this video is part 4 of 6 video reviews about Dragon Ball Super. So if you haven't seen my first 3 reviews about Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and the Universe 6 sagas, please check them out before or after watching this one. Oh boy, let's get timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly with the Future Trunks Saga. Future Trunks is back, and his timeline is bleaker than ever with the newest baddie around town, Goku Black. He's tearing up the landscape in his quest to destroy all mortals. After being found, Trunks escapes Goku Black's wrath and travels to our hero's timeline to seek help. Goku Black somehow hops through the dimensional rift caused by Future Trunks' time machine and instigates a short but sweet fight. After this, we're treated to some build-up episodes to reconnect Trunks with our current time's cast, while Whis and Beerus dig into the mystery of Goku Black by explaining more about the Supreme Kais, time rings, taboos of time travel, and their suspicions. While visiting the 10th Universe's Supreme Kais, Goku and Zamasu, Goku challenges Zamasu to a sparring match that sets off a chain reaction of events for this saga. Goku is then summoned to Grand Zeno's place because of all things, he's bored. But with the current events worrying Goku, a promise of a better friend allowed him to leave, but not before Grand Zeno gives Goku a button to summon, of all things, Grand Zeno himself. With much of the saga's setup established, the later episodes become a messy game of time-traveling hot potato where our heroes jump back and forth between the timelines. Faced off with a stronger Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black and Immortal Zamasu, our heroes retreat back to our time when they are beaten, solve the mystery, and fix the timelines by saving Goku, from certain death and perma-killing Zamasu. Then they go back to the alternative timeline to find out neither Goku Black or Zamasu are actually dead. They fight some more, learn some more, get royally curb stomped, then retreat back to our time again. Heal up and train, and go back in time to the alternative timeline to settle things. But after Goku Black wrecks the time machine, we're treated to a grand showdown that eventually results in Goku Black and Zamasu fusing via the Potora earrings. When all things look dire, Trunks manages a spirit bomb of hope to form around his sword to finish off the half-immortal monstrosity of a Supreme Kai. But just like the time-traveling shenanigans, Immortal Zamasu is not done here, and he turns himself into a Galactus cloud that surrounds Earth, finalizing the Zero Mortal's dream on Earth and then slowly encompassing the universe. When we can't think of any other way to kill an immortal god, insert Deus Ex Machina here. Literally, Goku presses the button and summons Grand Zeno of that time. As the remaining survivors escape to our current timeline, Grand Zeno wipes out Zamasu and that alternative timeline from existence. Guess the Dragon Balls don't really grant you immortality, do they? After all of this, everything is resolved with Goku bringing the alternative Grand Zeno to the current Grand Zeno as that new, better friend, and Whis gives Trunks and Maya an option for a course correction in the alternative timeline, which they gladly accept. To close off the saga, several filler episodes serve to ease from the time-traveling madness with a lot of fun episodes like Gathering the Earth Dragon Balls, a guest episode of Dr. Slump featuring Aurelie, and all the comedy that comes with her manga-breaking physics. A friendly game of baseball between Universe 6 and 7, Hit attempting to assassinate Goku, Gohan making a movie about Great Saiyaman, and Goku reinvigorating Krillin to train again and face old demons. Whew! This saga is a lot to take in and break down. So the first thing I want to talk about was the unveiling of who Goku Black was and getting time traveling wrong. I honestly don't think there's any medium out there that will ever get time traveling right. Then again, time traveling is not a real science, but there is some logic behind it at least. So it was a lot of fun watching the buildup of this discovery and learning more about the Kais and deities, but when we get to the explanation of Zamasu and Goku Black overall, I was following along up until I came across what I like to call the Terminator timeline loop. I get that Goku Black is basically our Zamasu that was able to kill Goku, wish to steal Goku's body, and then go into Future Trunks' timeline to partner with himself then, and use the Super Dragon Balls to grant that Zamasu immortality. What I don't get is the same factor that happens in the original Terminator movie. How does the loop start? This is where I'm going to merge Terminator with Dragon Ball for this argument. So bear with me here, I'm going to keep it as short as possible. I need to tell you that for both the Terminator and Dragon Ball Super, I will argue that there is destiny and or fate. That certain things will happen no matter what. For this argument, no matter what, John Connor will always be born, and Goku and Zamasu were destined to fight. In Terminator, we have Skynet sending a Terminator back in time to kill Sarah Connor, and the Resistance sending Kyle Reese to protect Sarah Connor from this Terminator. Unknowingly, John Connor ends up sending his own father into the past to save him in the future. But what we watch is basically the loop, or rather Timeline 2, and not the original Timeline 1. The original Timeline 1 would be Sarah having John with some random person that is never established. Judgment Day happens, John creates the Resistance and fights Skynet. Skynet sends a Terminator in time, and to counter this, John sends a random soldier to stop the Terminator. This is Timeline 1. Once John sends that random soldier, in this case Kyle Reese, it creates Timeline 2, and this is a loop that we watch in The Terminator. Granted, you have to ignore any sequels to make this loop very effective. This is similar with Dragon Ball Super, at the same time it's not. I say this because the timey-wiminess of the alternative timeline explained throughout the entire series. For Zamasu to kill Goku and steal Goku's body, there must be an event that triggers Goku to challenge and or spar with Zamasu. For the series, this would never happen if they hadn't been visited by future Trunks and or visiting his timeline to get the idea to visit Goku and Zamasu in the first place. What I want to believe is that there is destiny or fate in which the original Timeline 1, Goku somehow meets Zamasu and challenges him to a fight. It then snowballs to familiar events that creates the Timeline 2 in the series and the loop. This loop is then completed when Zamasu travels to future Trunks' timeline, wreaks havoc, and then Trunks runs back to our timeline. That finalizes everything, and thus creates that infinite loop. Oh boy, explaining time traveling sure is a mess. Aside from all that time madness, the fighting in this saga was actually great. The power struggle dynamic for our heroes against Goku Black and Zamasu really made each encounter interesting and fun to watch. Even when Trunks kinda gets shoehorned towards the end, it was all awesome. But I swear, all the fightings, with the exception of the last one, are completely ruined with the constant breaking away from the fights to go back in time. It just made it incredibly frustrating to watch. The first time around, it made it exciting and interesting, but the later jumps in time just feels like a cop-out for a reason to end the fight and continue with the story. It's just poor pacing in my opinion. And for a series and franchise as old as Dragon Ball, I really do enjoy a lot about the knockbacks or going back or referencing to the past. In this case, for future Trunks Saga, I'm referring to the technique of the evil containment wave. It was a great and funny way of implementing this old technique into the series, such as like having Piccolo make a YouTube video to demonstrate the technique, to witnessing the failing of forgetting the charm and Zamasu escaping from the evil containment wave. It was all great. As always, I love lore expansion, and you get plenty of it here in the future Trunks Saga. We learn more about Supreme Kais, like how Destroyer Gods die when a Supreme Kai dies, or how the Time Ring works and how it can have an impact on the time continuum. And even seeing more about Grand Zeno and witnessing his amazing and terrifying power. One thing I do appreciate in terms of character exploration is how they took an episode or so to explore Zamasu's train of thought and how he came to want to destroy all mortals. Seeing how teacher and student discover their ideologies and putting them into practice was interesting to say the least. But it was nice to see more of a villain's motive and showing how it can develop, rather than Zamasu just being evil and calling it a day. As for the filler episodes, easily Gohan doing the stunt work for the Great Saiyaman movie are my favorite. Maybe I'm a little bit biased as a filmmaker myself, but I really did enjoy those episodes. Alongside with the filmmaking shenanigans with Gohan, Krillin taking up training again is a great follow, as he has always been one of my favorite underdogs of the Dragon Ball series, and seeing him take his mantle up again and facing his old demons brought back a lot of nostalgic memories, as well as seeing solid development for his character. But overall, Future Trunks Saga just felt exhausting. This saga would have been a lot more enjoyable if they had drastically cut down the time hops, made the fights a lot more longer and dramatic, and build up the mystery of Goku Black in a solid pace rather than this hoppy-choppy time mess. For God's sakes, the fillers were leaner and well-paced compared to the disjointed main story arc. What gives? For all the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey shenanigans, Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks Saga gets a solid 2 out of 5. I really wanted to like the Future Trunks Saga, but honestly, all that time hopping and disjointed pacing really wrecked that entire saga for me. But why don't you tell me what you think about my opinion or your thoughts on this saga? Leave a comment down below. If you're new to my channel and want to see more reviews, please subscribe to my channel and make sure to click the bell button to get notifications when I release new videos and reviews. Thanks for watching another episode of Solid Reviews. Until the next review, see you next time.